Instagram messages?
When they gave it to me. I don't know what day it was.
Who's they?
I don't remember who the analyst was that did the examination of those records.
Okay. And the examination of those records, I would assume you included in your report?
Some of them, yes.
Some of them. Could you let me know then when? I assume if you put them in your report, it says then when you got them, correct?
It says when I put it in the report. Let me see.
I mean, that's something you would put in the report, right?
One that jumps out at me was from February the 26th of 2019. Somebody sent me an Instagram post on that day, and it was a short video that showed Mr. Ryan riding in a car.
Okay, but that's not the Instagram records, right?
It's from Instagram.
That's not the Instagram records for which you obtained a search warrant to get so you could get more information, correct?
I haven't verified it, but if it came from his Instagram and I got a search warrant for his Instagram, then yes, it would be in there.
Right.
I just got it before I got the search warrant records back.
I'm sorry, if you could repeat that last part.
It was posted. Somebody saw it. They sent it to me. If my search warrant had not been executed and the information sent back to me at that time, it would be included in both records, but I got it before the search warrant records came in because somebody sent it to me right after it was posted.
Okay, I think a second ago, because you said you didn't confirm it, right?
You're going to have to, I don't understand what you're saying. I've confirmed it. Yeah, what are you talking about?
Huh?
Well, I think
What are you talking
about the content of the messages, you said you did not confirm with the records.
I just said I'm assuming.
Right.
If it's in his Instagram records, I received it before the records came back from the search warrant. I'm assuming that that information that I received that day before the records came back would be in the records when they arrived to me.
Okay. So without those records, having looked at them, there was no way for you to go to Ms. Smith or Mr. Mitchell or anyone else and say, hey, you told me X, Y, Z, but your records say something completely different. Right?
I did not do that, no.
Okay. You could have done it though, right?
Yeah, sure.
And that would have been confirming, right?
Sure, yes.
Sure.
I want to ask you about what you testified to earlier about the actual crime scene. Mr. Abadi asked you questions about where you found certain things. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And you answered questions about where you found those 7.62 shell casings, right?
Yes.
But you didn't actually find those casings, did you?
No, I did not.
Those photos, you weren't there when they were taken, right?
No.
You never saw where those 7.62 casings were.
Not physically, no.
So when you say you found them, you didn't find them. Someone else did.
I said they were found. I'm not sure that I said I did.
Okay. When did you learn about those casings?
Later on the same day that the murder happened. I was at the office when I got the call.
Okay. And when you spoke with Mr. Mitchell and Mr. Uten, were you aware of those casings?
Got him.
As I recall, it was around the same time. I don't remember exactly the sequence of events, but I spoke with them later on in the morning. It was sometime around the same, a lot of things were happening at the same time, that we got the call about the shell cases. That's one of the reasons I did not physically see them, because I was busy at the office. So I asked the responding officer to collect them and supervise that. But I don't remember the sequence of when exactly they came in.
Okay. Would it help refresh your recollection to see a copy from your trial testimony?
Sure.
I'm sorry, not your trial testimony, the last proceeding, several proceedings ago.
Okay, sure.
This little raw lawyer, y'all. She cooking. She gonna get him in the tornado, in the blender. Watch. She a sleeper. Now, the weird part about this is important, because if they can debunk this, then it helps with the whole RICO. Yeah. Yeah, she cooked up slow. But watch, she gonna start really, yeah. If you could look at the defense, look how they whispering to each other, trying to adapt to what she doing. She putting in work. Look, she's stalling them out. Stalling them
All
out.
right, I'm going to direct your attention to
Look.
page 1076 from the prior hearing.
Watch. She's like a female lion protecting her baby. Rod, her baby. Look. Look, he getting scared.
All right, so what's your question again?
No, you heard me.
If when you spoke with Mr. Mitchell and Mr. Uten, you were aware of the 7.62 shell casings?
I was aware that they described to me 2 shooters, but I don't recall if I knew about the shell casings at that time. I may have, I don't remember.
You said that they described to you 2 shooters?
Yes.
Okay. You've got a transcript in front of you, so you've testified about this before, correct? This matter?
Yes.
Okay. And you don't recall attorneys asking you at length whether anyone besides Ms. Smith mentioned 2 shooters?
I read here that they were asking me about that, yes.
Okay. And your testimony was that Ms. Smith was the only person who said there was 2 shooters, right?
Yes.
Ooh.
That's what it says here.
I mean, when you...
Wait, before we get too far around here, let's make sure we got the right
That's what the papers say.
context.
If you want to flip to page 1100.
No, let me read these first.
Okay.
What? All right. Read as much as you want. She peeped the jury just now. Y'all heard? Look, how he want to object and do his own thing. She looked over at the jury to let him know he a goofy.
As I recall, they were asking me about my interview with Miss Mitchell, and I had mentioned to her that I had 2 sets of shell casings. They were trying to determine if she...
Okay, well, I don't need you to testify about what someone else was trying to do.
So what I'm saying is context matters. In this particular instance, I was describing my interview with her, and in the process of the interview, when I was confronting her with the evidence, I told her that I had 2 sets of shell casings.
Yes, I understand that. Mariah was the only person who said there was 2 shooters, right?
According to that transcript, yes, ma'am.
That was your sworn testimony under oath, right?
That's what I said. Yes.
All right, so that was the truth that you said then, right?
Yes.
Got him.
Okay, can I hear hum, man?
And I'm going to back up for a moment. I think you said Mr. Mitchell and Uten, they told you about not 7.62, but a weapon which would have fired larger shells. Is that right?
Yeah, they described a long gun coming out of the breezeway. Yes.
Okay. And when you were speaking with them, that was not consistent with the scene as you had seen it, right?
Again, I don't remember exactly when I got all the information about the shell casings. So at that point, I was getting his statement, and I took it as he gave it to me.
Did you not previously testify about the shell casings. I did not know about it when I interviewed Mitchell and Uten.
Okay, well, if my recollection was that then, I don't remember that now. If I didn't know about the shell casings then, if that's what I said, then that's what I said.
Okay. But you didn't confront them with what at that time would have been their testimony inconsistent with the scene, right?
No.
Okay. And they both told you one shooter.
I'm going to object to hearsay.
Sustained.
Got him.
The number of shooters they told you was not the same as Miss Smith, correct?
That's the same question, just worded differently.
We've already been through this.
I'm going to overrule that one.
Bernard Mitchell described the shooter coming out of the breezeway, and also the shooter when he was going around. He was right beside he described the person right outside the car, shooting in the car.
So that would be.
Described dreads and a hoodie.
So that would be he described to you two shooters, based on what you just told me.
Yes, based on my just reviewing my interview with him the other day.
Okay.
Come on, cook, baby.
All right. I'm going to have you take. So you don't recall testifying that Mr. Mitchell actually never said anything about two shooters?
I got a sneaking suspicion you're going to show me that I did, but as I sit here, I don't recall that. No.
You were able to review your interview with him, correct?
That's
Yes,
an air
I
ball.
did.
Okay. You still have that transcript in front of you?
No.
Get back.
Oh, is this it?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
You're now tuned
Take
into
a look and see if that helps
101.9
refresh your
Slime.
recollection about whether he told you there were two shooters.
It may or may not refresh his recollection, but I'm going to object again to hearsay with Mr. Mitchell. I'm going to object to hearsay.
This is impeachment of what the officer previously said.
I'll let you ask about whatever he previously said.
Do you have a page or an area that I need to look through? Exactly. It's a long interview.
No, sir.
How many pages are we talking about?
Ha ha.
Can't see. Maybe about 20. I can't see if that's right. It could be more.
Yeah, let him figure it out.
You know what? We can come back to it. We'll probably have a break and you can take a look and get back to me.
Okay, sure.
Cool. So when you went out to the scene at the time, you were looking to speak with other witnesses, correct? If there were any.
Originally, when I first got to the scene, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You were trying to speak with as many people as you could, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And you had access to the cab reports and the 911 calls, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you had access to the 911 calls themselves, correct?
Eventually, yes, I did.
And anyone you spoke with, you would have put that in your report, correct?
Yes, most of the general information. I don't necessarily put all the details, but yes.
Okay, but like their name, right?
Not always. If they don't wish for the name to be included, if I can exclude them, I will.
Fair. But you never spoke to the 911 callers, did you?
No,
Even though you had their name and contact information, right?
that's right.
Even though you were aware that one of them wanted to speak to the police, right?
If I was aware of that, I would have spoken with him.
Good morning.
You about to get him?
To be from the case, yes.
So you didn't review cats, or you did?
Well, I look at it, I verify that it's got the right address on there, and if there's any information as the case progresses, and if I need to get back in touch with anybody like a 911 caller, I would do that.
Okay. So you didn't see the...
And I would use the CAD report to get that number
Okay.
and name. In this particular case, I didn't see the instance to it. Didn't need it.
She is literally acting the ass.
You didn't need to see the person who wanted to speak with you?
I wasn't aware of that person.
So you didn't review the cat?
I looked at the front page. I didn't read every word. No, ma'am.
Okay. So you didn't listen to the 911 calls?
No.
Okay. So if you're trying to speak to as many witnesses as you can, why wouldn't you speak to the 911 caller who wants to speak with you?
Again, I didn't get the word that they wanted to speak with me, or I would have. My plate was pretty full. I talked to a lot of people when I did a lot of work that day.
Oh, okay. You were too busy.
Yes, I was busy.
Okay.
She working her ass off, man. I ain't gonna lie. She employee of the year.
So when Mr. Mitchell and Mr. Uten, no, let me back up. The photos of the 7.62 shells, you didn't take those, correct?
I did not.
Okay. Were they just sent to you? Is that right?
Yeah, they were included with the report, yes.
Okay. And so is it from those photos you pieced together, let's see the exhibits, say 10 NN that you've drawn a line on? Sure, thank you. Correct?
I did.
Okay. And this Earth image or whatever it is, that accurately depicted the apartment complex as you observed it, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So, and the line on the left side where it starts, that's your belief, that's where the 7.62 shell casings were.
That's correct, yes.
All right. I'm going to put up on the screen for you what has been admitted as 59 NN. NN. Mm-hmm. What is it you see next to kind of that entryway, exitway, by the sidewalk to the building?
Well, I see a satellite dish and an AC unit.
Okay, AC unit. And then you were standing at that AC unit looking at the parking lot. What is to your right? We have a line of bushes.
I'm turned around here. I don't understand what.
If you're standing next to that AC unit with the AC unit on your right, you're looking at the parking lot. Do we have a line of bushes there?
Yes.
All right. Could you flip back the 10 and then? So looking at 10NN, officer, you said it was consistent. What happened to that line of bushes?
They're not there.
Okay, what happened to the AC unit?
It's not there.
So how is that possible?
Whoa.
Well, when I got the information from the officer, I memorialized what he told me, what he found. He said it's by the Y building. I was assuming that Y building was where I indicated right there.
Assuming.
Oh, okay, so you just assumed that.
I did, yeah.
Whoa.
Okay.
It's in the same complex. The picture with the shell casings is in the same complex. I think it's in the next building back in that little courtyard.
Okay. But so you didn't go out to the scene and see where those 7.62 casings were, right?
I've said that a couple times.
So you can't say for sure, actually, that 10NN is even where those were found, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
So we got evidence in court that's
I
not
can say
right.
they came from the complex, but
Fair.
exactly where in the complex, I don't know.
Fair. And with this image, I'm going to point you to, I guess I can't really point to it.
This is Benihana.
That corner right there, right?
Yes.
That's where Ms. Smith indicated one of the shooters would be, correct?
I don't recall that.
Ooh.
Where do you recall she said the shooters were?
She said, if my recollection is correct, she saw somebody walking out of the breezeway.
Here?
I believe, yes.
Okay. So all those casings should be right there.
Yeah, but the buildings are very similar in design, and there's two sets. So there's a breezeway that goes through both sets of buildings.
Okay. So they're very similar. So
it's easily confused, is what I'm saying, as far as locations, because the buildings look very similar.
okay. So you may have been easily confused, right?
I was confused, yes.
Okay.
Confused and assumed. My life is on the line here, sir.
And Miss Smith, during the earlier parts of her interview, she had only talked about one shooter, right?
I recall she said she saw someone with a long gun, and she heard shots. I don't recall if she indicated whether there's more than one shooter or not. I don't remember that. Should I refer
Okay.
to something?
So earlier on in the interview, or when in her interview, I think you talked about, she said some things which weren't consistent.
Yep.
And then you consoled her.
Yes.
And then she was more consistent after that, right?
Yes.
Whoa.
So
Say that again.
when in her interview, I think you talked about, she said some things which weren't consistent.
Yep.
And then you consoled her.
Yes.
And then she was more consistent after that, right?
Yes.
So when was it that she began telling you, back this up. At what point between those did she go from one shooter to two shooters?
I know when she described to me, she described the two guys that she was with, and she described each one of them having a different kind of weapon. I recall that, but I don't recall if she stated that she saw anybody shooting. She just stated that she heard shots and ran.
Okay.
Saw both of them with guns, but I don't recall that she said she saw them shooting.
Yes. My question was, when in her interview, before or after the consoling?
It was after the consoling.
Okay. Because before that, it was only one shooter, right?
I knew that story she was telling me was crap, so I really wasn't paying much attention to it.
Okay.
So I don't remember what she said.
And it was between what was the consoling? We'll go there.
What was what?
When you consoled her.
You heard me.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I'm a husband and a father. I've got a daughter. I just spoke to her in a fatherly tone, assured her of her safety, and calmed her down and encouraged her to tell the truth.
Okay. But she didn't start doing that until after she was told to, I think, sing her ass off, right?
Whoa.
I don't recall if that was said or who said it.
You don't recall that?
Oh.
I'm not saying it wasn't said. I just don't remember who said it. Yeah.
Okay. And there were discussions during that interview about whether she was implicating herself, right?
I don't recall.
Whether she could be going home or not?
I don't remember that.
She wasn't concerned with, or didn't seem as though she was concerned about getting in trouble?
She was concerned about getting in trouble, yeah.
Okay. And so I want to back it up. She came in, she's telling you a bunch of things, they're not adding up. You console her, and then she is telling you something consistent with the evidence, right?
Yes.
Okay. But that part didn't happen until you were the first one to bring up that someone had a rifle, right? As opposed to just a small gun, right?
I indicated that there were two types of shell casings, a rifle round and a small caliber.
Okay. Before that, she had not described two types of rounds, correct?
Like I said, I haven't seen that interview in quite a while. I do not recall.
Okay. You're the one who brought up a second person there to ambush, right?
I described two types of shell casings indicating that it was two shooters, yes. Implication there is two shooters.
Okay. So you made that implication, and then we had two shooters, right?
Yes.
Okay. What more did you do to confirm what she was telling you?
And what, do you have an example that you'd like me to answer? Because she told me a lot.
Right. She told you about different things that Mr. Mitchell did or Mr. Uten did, right?
Yes.
And those weren't consistent with what you learned from them, right?
Yeah, they were fairly consistent.
Okay. So when you spoke to Mr. Mitchell, that's when you learned about him putting a gun to her head?
Oh, yeah. She did say that about him, yeah.
Yeah.
Again, that's the story and I didn't believe her, so I forgot about it, yeah.
So it would make sense if she's telling you these stories that you would want to confirm them, right?
If it's the truth, yes.
Right. And she told you things about, well, let me ask you. You never went back to Mr. Uten or Mr. Mitchell and asked about whether everyone had been chatting together, like she told you, right?
Oh, no, they described in their interview that they had been texting with the girls.
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant that everyone, the defendants, everyone came out and was chatting together before this happened.
I don't think that came out with Mitchell and...
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So they didn't say it, she did, but you didn't go back and say, hey, this witness told me this. No?
No.
Okay. And You didn't go back and look at her Instagram records, right?
I don't think so, no.
So you couldn't confirm whether she said she'd been talking to the victim every day, right?
Bless you, the victim. No, I didn't.
Okay. You could have though, right? Because you said you got a records, or you ordered them, did a warrant for them?
Yes.
Okay. And she told you about a specific type of van that Mr. Ryan's mother drove, correct?
Yes.
You didn't go check and see if she actually had a van like that, did you?
Yes.
You did?
Yes.
And that's in your report?
I don't think so, but I did do it. I noticed it. Let me go check. It might be in the report. We went to go talk to his mother.
Mm-hmm. She was cooperative, right?
She was.
You didn't ask to search the van, did you?
No.
That van would have been, based on what you were told, used basically as a getaway vehicle, right?
Yes.
So it could have a murder weapon in it, right?
Yes.
Could have gunshot residue all over the steering wheel, right?
No, unless it was shot from the car.
Okay. Those wouldn't transfer from someone's hands?
I don't know, maybe.
Maybe. But you didn't get a search warrant to check either of those things, did you?
No.
And within just a few hours, you had an address for Mr. Blaylock, correct?
I did.
And you didn't get a search warrant for that apartment either.
No.
So you made no effort to look for what would have been the alleged murder weapon, right?
Oh, that's correct.
Okay. That would have been useful, right? If you had that, that's great evidence.
I've worked 100 murders. I never got one.
Never.
Mr. Bossy, let's pause for a minute and take our.
Yup. And just like that, y'all, she cooked him. She cooked him. I ain't even gonna lie, yo. That was a lot of fraudulent examples of how to do an investigation. And she got him to where as though technically it doesn't look like he did his proper procedures. Real rap. She exposed a lot of elements in that, in the way Rod's case was written up, to where as though there is a lot of reasonable doubt. Straight up, I ain't gonna lie, yo, she worked him to the bone. Somebody worked her, and she worked him. Yup, just for tat. She ain't playing. Somebody worked her to the bone, she worked him. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.